Well, I've been very fortunate over the years to harvest whitetails in 26 states. That is a beautiful Colorado whitetail. That's a big whitetail to me. Look at this beautiful Colorado whitetail. Beautiful deer. Beautiful Florida whitetail doe. Just an absolutely beautiful morning here in Illinois. Buck down in Illinois. I'm gonna take this guy home and I'm gonna have some delicious venison. He came right up to that squint. First Indian deer. Got her. That's 2 deer. That is the way to whack a deer in Iowa. 35 by 5. Kind of unique. Got 2 points on this side.
It's fun having you in no matter what you shoot. As long as you're happy.
God, that's a beautiful buck. That is an absolutely beautiful Kansas whitetail. I think that's the biggest spike I've ever shot.
That is a beautiful Montana spike right there. He's actually got 15 points.
Beautiful Nebraska doe I just shot. Beautiful Nebraska deer. That's the most unbelievable deer action. It was unbelievable, man. And I got a beautiful New Jersey whitetail. I think it's probably the smallest buck they've taken in Oklahoma. 2 beautiful bucks in Oklahoma. My first West Virginia deer, and he is beautiful. Well, if there's one thing I've learned from harvesting whitetails in 26 states, it's that I don't really know a whole lot about them, and that I still continually make mistakes sometimes. Well, now I'm going to take you to a state I've never hunted before, and that's Virginia. I've heard that there's some pretty good deer hunting in Virginia, but it's not really a destination state. It's not one you hear about, not one you read about in the magazines, and it's not one that a ton of TV shows are done about. But my buddy CJ Davis, the president of Montana Decoys, said, Fred, why don't we go out and hunt Virginia together? Well, like usual, I had my normal attitude. I was going to harvest the very first deer that stepped out. And that's exactly what I did. But what I did not know is that it was going to be a really big deer. Anybody that's watched my show or knows me very well knows that a big deer is great, little deer is great, doe's great. I like them all. But when I saw this big deer, as you will see, I started shaking just a little bit. It's embarrassing sometimes to go back and look at video footage because when I look at my arrow as it's coming back and I'm shaking, I was shaking like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. It was ridiculous. But I have to explain, I thought I was gonna get this shot in the left. I drew, the deer turned a little bit quartering. It's looking for acorns. I think it's gonna blow out of there any second. I'm sure it's gonna get my wind any second. So by the time it finally gave me the shot, I was a little worked up. I just shot a monster whitetail in Virginia with my bare recurve. Holy chowder, I am freaking out. That is a giant deer. Literally just got to Virginia. Hunted yesterday, hunted this morning, and a monster just walked by, drew back, dropped the string. I was shaking so bad. I wanted to shoot him on the left side of the tree, but he's cornered to me a little bit. I leaned way out and shot right next to the tree. I mean right next to the tree. Shot him angling down. He's out there about 70 yards. Let's go look at him right now. Oh my God. Look at that beautiful deer. That is a stud. I usually shoot the first deer that walks by. And that is not a little deer. That's a beautiful, I don't even know if he's an 8. I don't even know what he is. I think he's an 8. He's big for me, I know that. Holy chowder, that's cool. Well, here is the beautiful buck I just shot. I hope I got it on the GoPro. Unbelievable, literally my second day hunting here in Virginia. And with my buddy CJ, who had seen a couple nice deer yesterday. He went to his son's football game. He said, man, you need to set up a stand over here and try that out. So I set up, got up in there with my signature recurve, and you can see right here where I hit this deer right here, angling. It went all the way through. The arrow blew perfect performance, blew all the way through the deer. The deer only went about, I don't know, 50 to 70 yards. The tree stands right there, 50 to 70 yards. And you could see him teetering, and then he went down, right down this hill. But I'd have liked to hit him, I don't know, a couple inches forward, maybe 3-4 inches forward, but I was freaking out. I didn't even know they had deer this big in Virginia. So I'm pretty excited about this dude. That is so frigging awesome. Beautiful 8-point. You could have told me he was a 15-point, and I would have believed it. But beautiful deer. I was shaking pretty bad. You'll see I was drawing, and man, I wanted to shoot, but he was quartering to me on the left side of the tree. So I waited till he came around. But that is just a beautiful buck. And what's even cooler is I'm gonna get picked up by Mr. Jim Crumley. And if you don't know who he is, I'll explain it in just a little bit. Now, there's deer. You can see that broadhead tore a huge hole in the liver there. So if you see this back lobe of this lung right here, it was sliced wide open. So that broadhead hit the back lobe of one of the lungs and put a big hole in the liver. It was also really cool getting picked up by Jim Crumley, who is the first guy to make a manufactured camouflage, something that wasn't military grade basically, or that was produced for the military. Jim, an absolutely super guy. I also did a podcast with Jim that's absolutely fascinating. And you can check that out on my Fred Eichler podcast if you want to learn a little bit more about Jim or tree bark camouflage. Jim Crumley. Not every day you gotta get the legend to pick him up. This is awesome, man.
I had to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Did I do okay?
Frederick, this from Bottom County, Virginia, is about as good as you're going to get.
No kidding.
It is. He is a dandy. I'm telling you, he is a really good buck. It's all about where you are and what you got where you are.
And what county are we in here?
Bottom County, Virginia.
And that's a
Named
pretty
after
good one.
Lord Bottom. You know, this county used to go to the Mississippi River back in the day.
I did not know that.
So yeah, he is a dandy. He really is.
Well, with a buck down, I decided to go out and see if I could get lucky again. I set out my Montana decoy, doe decoy, to see if I could lure another deer in bow range. That deer's down. That deer is down. Oh, all right. I shot that deer. Looked like I got back of the lungs, liver. It's down right down in this ravine. We're gonna go get it. But the cool thing is look at my Montana decoy. Those deer came up from the hill, looked at the deer, came right up within probably 10 yards and kept looking at the decoy. That's what brought them over here. They kept looking at the decoy, kept looking at the decoy. The decoy is right there. That's what's awesome about the decoy to me, is being able to set it up, have deer see it, and come in to check it out. I'm gonna show you exactly where that Montana decoy is in relation to the deer. It came up and it was like it wanted it to move. It stomped its foot, came around, kept looking, came off the hill and came right to it. The other deer followed it, and then all of a sudden it was like, I guess it's another deer. And it just totally calmed down, hung out, and just started ignoring it. But that's what brought the deer off the hill. I've had so much luck with Montana decoys with all kinds of stuff. So let's go down and check it out right now. The stand's right there. And what I do is I set it up broadside from where I think the deer are gonna come from. And those deer came down that hill right there and came right to it. I'm gonna pace it off from the decoy where the deer was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That deer got 10 yards from the decoy. And that's what's awesome, is it works on both bucks or does. That was so freaking awesome. How cool is that? That deer didn't go anywhere. Just a beautiful deer here in Virginia. It came right up to the Montana decoy. And that is gonna be a tasty deer. I can't wait till CJ sees it. Here's a beautiful deer I just shot with my recurve. You can see my arrow hit right here, back of the lungs. Blood was spewing through there. I'll pull those out and show them to you. But just a beautiful young doe. But the neat thing was the reaction to the decoy. Saw the decoy, and that's just the whitetail rump with the realistic tail. And this deer came right in, checked it out. Just super, super cool. So to me, that makes the hunt. You can see where my arrow went in here, blew through. Deer made it about 70, 80 yards and piled up. I shot an incredible buck here in Virginia just the other day, and now I just shot a beautiful doe, also with my recurve. I'm pretty excited.